What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Jesus Coin today. Yes, we are. Absolutely, we're going to do a back-to-back day coverage of Jesus Coin because it's exciting again, you guys. Why is it exciting? Well, we just had the most volume that we've seen since March of this year, okay? We really haven't seen this much volume since March. How much volume is that? I need to go to coingecko.com. Hold on, I want to go back real quick. I want to make fun of myself real quick here. Let's see. Home. Oh, what was that though? Okay. Well, that might not be appropriate. Who's ready for the crypto bulls to go on parade? And then I wrote the most poorly timed post ever. Nobody liked it. Whatever. People saw it. You didn't feel like you needed to like it. That's okay. That's okay. It's still kind of funny, right? I literally posted this last night before we saw that major. It wasn't even that major for some coins. Definitely not for Jesus Coin, and that's something that I want to go over too. But with that dump yesterday happening, I posted this right before the dump happened. So I just think that's funny. Most poorly timed post ever. Maybe within a week's time, it'll make more sense. But within that 24-hour period, it definitely wasn't. Anyways. This video is about Jesus Coin. Let's stop making. Oh yeah, I was going to look up coin market cap, CoinGecko. I was going to look up Jesus Coin, see how much volume we had. In the last 24 hours, we've seen $1 million in volume. So we haven't seen $1 million or more since March, and we just did that. So good job, Jesus Coin. Absolutely good job. Phenomenal move up. I think that is a real move. I really do. That's a humongous candle right there, with pretty decent volume. We are near this dreaded blue line, an area that we've been battling really since February. I mean, arguably since January, because we've been battling it, trying to stay above it. Now we're battling it again, trying to reclaim it and get above it again. Will we do it this time? Will we be able to get above it? I hope so. I think so. If we take this relative high here to the relative low, and I'm actually going to go, I think this would suffice as the low because it still looks like it was bleeding down. Breaking above the 618 right here at 709, what is that? It's 9 something. 9746, breaking above that on the first attempt and breaking through it just super clean like that is a solid sign that we could see the 1272. This might be where we're headed before we see some kind of like significant consolidation. The 1272 being at 60179 to 602477, potentially near the top of this range over here where we were interacting with before. Definitely would make sense to me. That might be where we're headed. What we would want to do to solidify that is going to happen, that this isn't just another tug at our heartstrings and we're going to go lower. We would want to see that we don't close below this 618 again. We don't want to do that. Preferably, definitely not today, but at any point, we don't want to close below there again. We want to hold that line forevermore, not closing below it. And actually, if we take a horizontal line and we put it right there, essentially right there, you can see that we found resistance here before. We found support right there before. A little bit of resistance right here, right? A couple times. And then less significance there, but more relatively speaking, definitely some significance. I think that would be a very key area to hit. Again, we can move down there and find support there. That's okay, but we don't want to break below it. We don't want to have multiple days close below that line. And not going down and just continuing to go up would be okay too. I'd be okay with that. I'm sure I speak for more than just the people watching this video whenever I say that anybody holding Jesus Coin would be happy with this thing going up. I think it's funny, you guys. Jesus Coin really doesn't care about crypto, right? It really is its own thing. It does its own thing. It will pump a whole 73% in a day with the most volume we've seen in months, while the rest of the market is dumping. It'll dump. It'll see the longest, most drawn out dump that any crypto has seen while everything else is pumping. It just does its own thing. It really doesn't. It doesn't care. So I love that. I kind of love that independence on itself. It's nice. It's easier whenever things run together, of course, but it is nice to see your favorite meme coin pumping whenever the rest of the market is dumping, that's for sure. So enough talk, guys. The real aspect of the TA in this video is that, you know, we finally hit the overbought zone on the daily, just a straight tear up, man. This is really a really strong move. The longer we stay in this overbought zone, I think the more solid, the more solidified this move becomes, and the more likely we will break above this blue line. You see your best moves when you're in the overbought zone. Hopefully it's not just one of those instances where you get up into the overbought zone and then you get out of it. You know, I would like to see some continuation. We got into it here on this move, right? And then we continue to climb higher, right? Like let's just look at this for what it is from a closing point, because that was the day that we finally got into the overbought zone, right? To the high point, that was a 36% growth. If we saw a 36% growth from the day that we got into the overbought zone, which was here, I mean, that would take us the furthest away from this blue line that we've been like throughout this whole range. I think maybe it was like that far, I don't know, but it would just take us further away, and that would be nice to see. That'd be really nice to see, because not only are we getting further away from the blue line, but we would actually have a higher high. We would break this lower high trend finally. So hopefully we can get that. Looking for more continuation rather immediately. I did say yesterday in yesterday's video that as much of a pump as it was up here, because I think I made the video like literally at the top, I was saying don't be surprised if we see some volatility, right? You could buy here and that's okay, but just be prepared for some downside. We did get some downside. It didn't go dramatically lower, but we did go as low as like 708188. That's awesome. So hopefully some people took the opportunity, seized the day, seized the carp, as it were, to buy more. Volume is dying off a little bit on this 4 hour as we moved up, so that does promote a little bit of worry within myself. We do have this look of bearish divergence presenting itself too. Yes, we do, especially with what I would assume would be 2 red candles in a row on the 4 hours. So that could mean that we move down. But this bearish divergence, as extreme as it might look on the RSI, would only call for move down to 601 essentially. We're at 6011 now, so we could lose about 10%, 20%, something like that. It could go lower, but I'm hoping we don't lose this low. I'm hoping we maintain higher lows, and as low as we go, I hope it's quick, and then we just continue to move up, you know what I mean? So don't be surprised. We're at 6011. Don't be surprised if we do move down about 10 to 20% from the current price. If you're watching this video and we're already down there, well, that might be a primary to buy. Not financial advice. Do what you want to do. We could go as low as 709. You know, we're not absolved of the land of 7 zeros yet. Maybe even lower than that. I say that's as low as we could go, but we could go lower than that. But I do think it's a fine area to buy. I'm going to finish this video saying the same thing I said in the last video, which is if you want to buy here, if you didn't buy at all here when you had all the time in the world, you had all the time in the world to buy here, but now you want to buy here. If that's you, that's okay. It's still a cheap price, right? If we go all the way back to the all-time high, to the current price, it's an 81% difference, okay? So that's phenomenal. And just so you know, that doesn't translate into an 81% growth. That translates into a 5.3x essentially, right? And over 500% growth is what that translates into. So phenomenal gains to be had if we were to just reclaim all-time highs, let alone exceed, which I do think we will. But buying after a day that pumped 73% would not fall under the category of good risk management, right? You don't buy high, you try to buy low, and you try to sell high. So all of that to say, if you buy here, you didn't want to buy here because you were too chicken, but now you want to buy here because it seems like a good idea now, then that's okay. Do your thing. Not financial advice, do your thing, buy here, but do not sell if we pull back to the land of the 7 zeros. What if we go to 7068? It's a higher low. It's a higher low. We'd be finding support at previous areas of resistance right here. You keep taking this line over, previous areas of support. It would look really, really good. It would be one of the most ideal times to buy. And you want to sell because you bought up here and now you're feeling the panic that it went down here and maybe this was all fake and you're going to drop. No, don't do that. Have that conversation with yourself. If you want to buy here, and I'm not saying I expect that to happen. I'm just saying if we did that, it wouldn't be crazy, and it could make sense even, right? It would look good. For various reasons, you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing to do. It would also look good to just continue to grow, of course, but I'm saying that as a like a form of mental conditioning. If you buy here, do not sell here, okay? Just don't. That move might not even come. but just have that discussion with yourself that I am going to buy here regardless of how low it drops from here because of volatility or whatever. I'm not going to panic. If anything, I'll just buy more or I'll just wait. That's my thoughts. If you can't do that, if you don't think that's you, then why are you buying here? Find something else that hasn't pumped 73% in a day. Do something that makes sense, you know what I mean? Not that this wouldn't make sense. Again, there's a lot of room to grow. I would feel comfortable buying at these prices. I'm not buying at these prices, but I would feel comfortable buying here, just so long as I had the mental wherewithal to know to not sell if we dropped, right? And I don't know. I'm going to end it there, you guys. Jesus Coin has a lot of growing to do. I think this chart's just bullish as hell, man. I love the bouncing that we're getting on the weekly RSI on this 40 area. We won't even get into the bearish area of control on the weekly. We're about to get above the 50, an area that we held as support, and that took us to our all-time highs, man. We're about to be in the areas of strength that we need to be in. I say we're about to. It could be weeks, it could even be months, but if we do anything compared to what we did last time, all right, from a low point here to a high point, that took us 9 weeks, just under or maybe exactly 2 months to see our all-time high, to grow that much. It could be 2 months from now. We're at the end of June. It could be August, the end of August, sometime in September, which is what I do personally expect. By the time we see our next all-time highs, from this high to a low, we hit the 1414. The 1414 is in the expected range, but the 1272 would be the minimum expected target that I would have. So that would be at 5011. 1414, if we repeated the same growth that we saw last time, would be at 5015. So 5011, 5015, serious areas to take into consideration. But the 1618, even beyond that, is absolutely doable too, right? Let's see. From the current price, that minimum expectation would be about almost a 10x, okay? And if we drop a little bit, it would be a 10x, right? 1414, what we saw last time, that would be about a 14x, just under a 14x, and the 1618 could put us at a 23x. To put it in reference, from the low, that would be a 43x about a 44, 45x at the 1618. The last time that we moved up, the last high that we had from a low to a high point, we saw a 62x almost, essentially 61.8x, and that would be a 44x. So I'm just saying, as crazy as it sounds to go to 502488 when we're at 6011 right now, as crazy as that might sound, it's not even as crazy as this was. So could we go past it is the question. From the current price, that would be a 22x essentially. If we went past it, the next target would be a 30-something x. The next target after that, the 1886, which is actually more common than the 1786. I don't even know why I have the 1786 on there. Would be a 42, 43x. And if we hit the 2272, I mean, that could happen too. We could see a greater than the last growth that we saw, 62x. We could see greater than that. Absolutely, we could. It just all depends if we get exchange listings, if there's more hype surrounded around Jesus Coin, if it just catches on, right, like that. It's a popularity contest at the end of the day. There's plenty of cryptos that have more utility than this coin does, and that's not meant to be a slight. That's just genuine. There are plenty of cryptos with more utility than this coin that will not see the amount of growth this coin sees. And the reason for that is it's not about utility helps, okay? Technological advancements or improvements or innovations, they help. They're an underlying backbone, of course. Jesus Coin does not have technological innovations, right? That's not the purpose of it. But the purpose of growth is not that, right? You would think it is. It would make sense that it is, but really it's all hype. It's all hype. It's community. It's popularity. It's a popularity contest, and the most popular crypto wins. So if Jesus Coin does get a surge in popularity, we really could see a 100x, the 2272 being hit by the time this move's done. I don't know if we would see that in September or October. Maybe. I guess it'd be the end of August to September. I mean, maybe, but I'm not calling for that specifically. I'd feel much more comfortable calling for this 5025 area or to the 5015 area, somewhere in there. But I'm just saying, keep your mind open, right? Don't necessarily expect these prices, right? But just keep them on the radar, because That's a huge difference in selling, right? I don't know. I'll let you guys know whenever I let go of my Jesus coin, whenever I'm going to sell. I'll make a video before I even sell, and then after that video is posted, I'll sell. I might even make it like the day before I sell, because I don't want I don't want anybody to get the idea that I'm trying to pump and dump on people, because I feel like that happens. People do that, right? Especially whenever people lose money, right? They buy at the wrong time. They buy whenever I sell. That I don't want that to happen. I want to be as transparent as I can. I did buy on this week. I bought at some of the lower prices. I bought at this week. I bought at some of the higher prices. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely not like I'm not the biggest holder. I'm not like an inside person on this. I'm not manipulating the prices or anything like that. I don't know. I don't want there to be that narrative. So I'm going to be very transparent, as I always am, whenever I do sell Jesus coin. And yes, I do plan on selling Jesus coin. I hope you all plan on selling Jesus coin. Of course you want to hold it. Of course you want to hold it until it gets to its highs, right? But how many of you here, even after this pump, wish you sold it back here? You know, raise your hands. I'll raise them both, man. You know, like I wish I did. I had the plan to sell there and I didn't follow through with my plan, man. But I do plan to sell Jesus coin on this next high, wherever it may be. If I don't catch the absolute high, that's okay. We're going to be in insane profits either way. And I do plan on selling. I'll let you guys know whenever I do that. The whole purpose why anybody bought this coin, right? Initially, what caught your interest was the potential for gains, right? To promote financial growth and stability in your own lives and the people around you, hopefully, right? It wasn't to just buy this coin and never touch it and never do anything with it, right? I mean, maybe if you're crazy out there, and no, I don't mean that in an offensive way, man. I love my crazy people, but I would assume most of us are trying to improve our lives financially by buying this coin, right? Using that money to do good, maybe rolling it into other crypto projects to even let that money grow more, or stocks or whatever, real estate, whatever, depending on how much money you have involved in this. Don't forget that, man. It's really easy to fall in love with a project, especially whenever it's doing the best, when it's at new all-time highs, especially week after week when it's just continuing to grow. I get it, man. Trust me, I get it. If you guys watch the videos back here, you can see how much I got it. You know what I mean? But you got in it for a reason. It's to sell at areas of value for you, right? So don't forget to do that. Anybody can make profits, only the pros take profits, and that's what I'm going to end it with. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for being here. I think it'll be a very big deal, you guys, once we close above 6 zeros 127. When we close above that week, when we get above 6 zeros 1393, that's the high of this week. When we get above there, finally casting a higher high on the weekly, showing that we are breaking this. I mean, it's going to be by the end of the summer, beginning of fall, that we see these new all-time highs come into effect. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for the coming months. I hope you are too. If you buy here, be prepared for it to drop a little bit, right? Just standard volatility. Don't be scared, but be in it for the long haul is what I would say, or at least the midterm haul, right? At least for a couple months out. Take care. Bye-bye. That's all I got.